Chris from HLegacy.com with another exciting episode of Topher's Log. We have an embarrassment of riches in which to talk about and look at today for Halloween Horror Nights. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that has appeared inside the park, as well as yesterday, of course, they announced pretty much everything that was left to be announced in terms of the houses and the scare zones. We'll talk a little bit about that, as I did not get a chance to make a video on that stuff yesterday. So as we go through the parks today, I'll give my thoughts on some things, as well as reveal my official hype list for the year. If you do not follow me on social media, I've already done that on the Twitters and the Facebooks, but I'll do it here at the end of the video, just because. But we have a lot of stuff in which to do and see today, so let's not waste any time. Let's have some fun. So of course we have confirmation this scare zone is indeed called 30 Years, 30 Fears, featuring all the icons and so on and so forth. Not a whole lot to look at in here new than once we last left, but official name confirmation now. I will reveal where this ranks on my hype list at the end of the video. So 30 Years, 30 Fears, down Production Central. Quick new element in the New York scare zone. We have a screen up by the stage here, up at the front. Confirmation this scare zone is indeed called Seek and Destroy. It is a little bit in the vein of Saws and Steam a little bit, where these extraterrestrial overlords are pumping blood out of the human body if you do not submit to the controller. So Seek and Destroy, scare zone down New York. There's another element in here we have to take a look at. There it is, the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store facade for this year. This is hands down probably the best thing I think they've ever put in front of a tribute store these past couple years. Nice old creepy house here. Got the tribute store signage up there, which I assume will glow, but it's this old creepy house. Kind of gives me a little bit of Dead End vibes, which was a house back in the day. Very, very cool. Got a little bit more. Old-timey New York music just fits perfectly with this. Very cool. So the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store facade. Now, when I was here the other day, I had hinted that we would see stuff sooner rather than later. I figured Monday, this coming Monday, but hey, we got it today, so very cool. One more quick look. And we move on. There was a screen added to this little prop piece over here. Don't mind the scary mummies. We got a screen over here. So there you go. That's pretty much it. So a couple of different screens added, but there's no other major updates. Looking down Hollywood Boulevard, we have our first signs on ground level of scare zone construction. Now this was also announced yesterday, of course. It is Lights, Camera, Action, Eddie's Revenge. Now, I generally have, you know, over the course of my time here, as we stroll down Hollywood Boulevard, I generally don't give out clues anymore for things every year, but a couple weeks ago I decided to partake in some clue giving, and I played some games with the also announced Crypt TV scare zone, with that being over in San Francisco, and a lot of people, this is Van 55, for all those people who don't know, Van 55 is a Halloween Horror Nights fanboy's dream. People love the Van 55 stuff, so continue our little stroll down here. I gave a little bit of clues this year to stuff, and sort of purposely mixed up some things, especially over in the Crypt TV scare zone, because everyone was like, oh my god, I thought that was going to be an Eddie zone. Well, the Eddie zone was always in Hollywood. But I decided to mix things up a little bit when I gave my clue. Treeks and Foons. Treeks and Foons over here. Treeks and Foons showed up a couple times in Halloween Horror Nights. Foam party over here. We're gonna have foam over here. Treeks and Foons. And another, got some scaffolding over on the sides as well. Don't mind the worker. And of course, one of my personal favorite scare zones, Invasion. So my guess is that these little platforms are going to be quote-unquote film sets, and we'll have actors up here filming stuff for Invasion, Treeks and Foons, so on and so forth, and Eddie's Revenge. We also have some scaffolding over here and some lights at the entrance.
We encourage you to continue to maintain social distance between you and other travel parties, and to wash your hands.
There you go. So we got some visible stuff here. Lights, camera, action. Eddie's Revenge in Hollywood. Stuff happening. So I finished my thought from before. I generally these days stay away from giving out clues or things like that. But last couple weeks, last couple months really, I've been dropping some clues about things here and there. Of course, the most glaring thing that you've probably noticed is that I keep, or have been, lingering on the Boris-Schuster office for long periods of time in these videos. That was sort of the, hey, Boris-Schuster Legendary Truth House coming to Halloween Horror Nights. Of course, we now know Case Files Unearthed Legendary Truth is coming this year. It is the house over in the Shrek 4D Theater. The entrance over here next to Hello Kitty, in between the Brown Derby and Hello Kitty there. So that was kind of my clue. As we go through today, I'll sort of drop what you know, what clues I did give out, and you know, if I have the footage still, or if I can find the footage still, and all the little things that I've dropped along the way, the breadcrumbs as it were. I'll put them in the video here. Another little clue that I gave for the Boris-Schuster thing was a couple months ago really, back in June I think it was. I took a couple of pictures, 4 pictures in particular, one of which positioned Optimus Prime pointing at a picture of the Boris-Schuster office there in Delancey Street. Another clue for you guys. So there you go. So let's continue. Let's look at some stuff. We got some preview merch to look at, so we'll look at that next. So the preview merch today: Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. Still got other stuff from last week: the cups, the socks, the bloody popcorn. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Today's stuff. Of course, plenty of stuff available. I do like the little logo on the side there. Some of the stuff from last week. Socks, pins, cups. Of course, some of the old stuff. These are still the Jack shirts, I believe. Yes. And the Haunting of Hill House. So there you go. Of course, the moment I walk down Central Park, fucking Dora has got to come out. But you can see already, we've got a lot of stuff over in what is now the Gorewood Forest. Of course, Terra Quintus, excuse me. So this is the big thing here. It's right when you enter New York here. So a big piece here. Stairs here, do not climb. I assume we're gonna see some sacrifices going on up here. For the Queen. A lot of people just kind of hanging out over here. Don't exactly know why. Got some poles, some giant poles on either side there, one there. pole here. What is it? Cable poles? Like telephone poles, kind of. Well, not telephone poles, but. And of course, we got this brown netting camo all across the fencing, both sides. So here as well. God, you could smell the camo off this. Is ridiculous. So that stuff there. We got another pole right here, and another pole right down at the entrance on the kids zone side. So right now the only big piece is the thing that we saw at the front, which I assume is part of the tree, but it is what it is. But there you go, little pole. And that's it for New York, or excuse me, Central Park, I should say, which is in New York, but Central Park. It's in New York, in the real New York. It's in a random spot in Universal Studios, Florida. But.
No, thank you.
There you go. So, not much else going on in here, but you could smell this netting. Pretty crazy. So, Gorewood Forest, Central Park. I did drop a clue for this a couple of months back. I did say this, just in case I can't find the clip. I referred to this as being a gory good time. A gory good time was your clue. The Gorewood Forest, of course. Long live the Queen. So I still do not see any lights on tops of the roofs here for the potential roaming hordes. I do find that weird. Usually we see, these are like some of the first things to go up every year. But still nothing. Here is today's hype check on Welcome to Scary Horror in the Heartland, the Men in Black tent. All is well. Of course, we now know what show, pray tell, will be in the Fear Factor live stage. Horror Nightmare Fuel, aerialists, pyro, magic, all that stuff coming to the Fear Factor live stage. Still blocked off with those giant stanchions. But there you go. So, of course, we have another show in the Lagoon. Marathon of Mayhem. Another version. But for now, Halloween Nightmare Fuel. Here comes the wind. As we enter into San Francisco, what is officially Crypt TV. Although the logo is still covered up over here. Don't know why. This is the thing that we saw last time. We also have another tarp covering probably something gruesome. A dead body, perhaps, as per usual. Anytime you see tarps like this, usually it indicates a dead body. Got some ivy now covering in the chains from this Crypt TV episode. Oh, there's the logo. Finally got some logo on the side of the thingy here. Finally have Crypt TV up and running there.
A long time ago.
So Crypt TV, of course. Cryptic stuff. Burlap down, burlap down, burlap sack down. Speakers. Crypt TV up here. Is it plastered on here? Nope. So I'm only seeing the Crypt TV logo. Oh, there's one down there. So Crypt TV down there. And then Crypt TV up here. That's it. Nothing else plastered with Crypt TV that I see, or that's uncovered. So you go. That's pretty much all that's new in here, with its official announcement of Crypt TV. Very cryptic. This definitely looks like straight out of the show. I'll tell you that. Very good detail on this. Yeah, it is straight out of the show. Very cool. Another quick look. There we go. So that's going to do it for a look at the Scare Zone Prep and Emerging Tribute Store at Universal Studios Florida. We have one quick stop left to go. We have not been over to Owl's Adventure in quite some time because we've been so focused on all the Horror Nights stuff over here. But something spooky has opened over there, something that I've been anticipating for quite a long time. I'll explain more as we get closer, and I still got to talk a little bit about my hype list and a little bit about the announcements that happened yesterday. So let's move on. It's been a hot minute since we've been over to Owl's Adventure. But we do have something to see here, so it's towards the back of the park. I love this park. Been so focused on the Horror Nights stuff, we just, you know, didn't have time to come over here. And it's hot, and with me battling the diverticulitis, I just don't go into the two parks these days if I don't have to. So, but here we are. Something that has caused quite a ruckus on these social medias is the construction walls that have been put up in front of Poseidon's Fury. Of course, Poseidon's Fury has been closed for the longest time because of the pandemic, but there's wild speculation going around that it's shutting down for good. I hope not, but I think it's just, you know, normal maintenance. It's been closed for so long. So there you go, construction walls in front of Poseidon's Fury. Before we continue on to where we need to be, since we haven't been here in a while, over on the bypass bridge, they've added a little Jurassic World entryway by where those that steel cage was put up a couple weeks ago. A month and a half ago now. So there you go. I'm tempted to ride today, but still going to give the diverticulitis a little bit more time to rest. So over by the Mystic Fountain, we have a new, they're calling it it's called All Hallows Eve Boutique Shop, but it's a tribute store, guys. It's over by the Mystic Fountain. I heard about this store quite a long time ago, even before they put up that mural. I avoided coming over here for the longest time just because I didn't want to be that guy. But now that it's open, there's a lot of stuff in there that we can go look at. So it's got some Halloween Horror Nights stuff in there. It's got some Halloween stuff in there, Beetlejuice stuff. So we'll take a look at all the stuff. But I was hearing about this for a long time, so it's nice to finally see it open. Let's go check it out. So here we are. You first walk in, you've got a bunch of Beetlejuice stuff. The funny thing about this stuff here, so this mask has Chucky, Frankenstein, and Jack the Clown on it. There's all the Halloween Horror Nights stuff that came out with the Icons announcement. There's a new shirt here with Jackie Chance. Chucky socks. There's this wall decoration that was in the other store. Of course, the glasses are here. Some chocolates with the icons on them. And then this guy, of course, was in the main store last year for the Scarecrow Hunt. These Frankenstein shirts. Shirt here, pants, Beetlejuice stuff here, popcorn, And here we have, this stuff is straight up from the tribute store last year. These are cool, little Chucky of course, the ever popular skulls. Pumpkin stuff, of course, was in the tribute store last year. It is here, of course. It's on the caretaker's hearse, so it was the caretaker's hearse a long time ago.
You think I look like her?
I want to pull up to the park and be like, good, and that's all.
Coffee and hot sauces. Just a quick look inside the new All Hallows Eve boutique over there in Islands of Adventure, next to the fountain, the magic fountain there. The store that I've been hearing about for a long time, even before, like I said, the mural went up on the wall many moons ago. I've also been hearing or heard about the merch that had Chucky on it. Now, it's so funny because like Horror Nights fans are very predictable, and when I heard a long time ago that Chucky was going to be featured on merch this year, in some way, shape, or form, he's on one of the masks, or one of the new masks that they're selling inside the boutique store. I knew people were going to go apeshit because people don't like Chucky on the merch. But you know, it makes sense to me because you know Chucky is a Universal thing. So, and he's got a new series premiering this fall on Sci-Fi and USA, which are Universal Network, so Comcast Network. So it makes sense to me, and I like Chucky, so I did indeed. I went ahead and I did buy the mask, the new facial covering with Chucky on it. I like Chucky. They also have those little figurine things that I thought were pretty cool with Chucky in there as well. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and head towards the car. I see lightning in the distance, so it's gonna rain. So we're gonna go ahead towards the car and get the hell out of here. I want to get on the Velocicoaster, but like I said, I'm trying to let the diverticulitis settle for a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Well, we are back in the Asian Legacy Studios, as it were. We have some unfinished business. We are showered. We are ready to proceed. We are home. It was a hot day. It was a fun day. Hot day, but we are home. Nonetheless, it is time to finish what we need to do. We talked a little bit about the scare zones that were announced. Of course, you know, if you missed the beginning part of the video, which, why would you? Everything was pretty much announced yesterday. All the scare zones, the shows, and the rest of the houses. There's one or two little things that I think are still need to be revealed, especially when it comes to the Jack stuff. But for the most part, everything is pretty much revealed. So I wanted to do, like I do every year, give my hype list for the houses and the scare zones, talk a little bit more about the houses and why I'm excited for each and so on and so forth. We went through all the scare zones already pretty much. Of course, we've got Lights, Camera, Action over there in Hollywood, featuring Eddie, Eddie's Revenge, as it were. 34 years over in Production Central, which, you know, looks great. Seek and Destroy over there in New York, which is sort of the it's got a very Sauce and Steam vibe to it, with all these bodies being pumped full of liquids and bloods, you know, all these people that defy the controller, as it were. And then we have the Crypt TV Scare Zone, of course, over there in San Francisco, based on all the Crypt TV stuff. And then Gorewood Forest over there in Central Park. Coming in at the bottom for me right now is Seek and Destroy. One of the reasons why, so at number 5 is Seek and Destroy. One of the reasons why is because, you know, sort of the whole cyberpunk Saws and Steam vibe in this house, I just don't really care for. I like Saws and Steam a lot. The house, Saws and Steam Into the Machine, is one of my favorite houses in Halloween Horror Nights. The Scare Zone was fine. I just, you know, it's Saws and Steam, but with cyberpunk. So it's just kind of not my thing. Coming into Forest Crypt TV. I used to watch Crypt TV way back in the day when it first started. I don't so much anymore. In fact, I've been trying to catch up on some of the things that are on there. Of course, we have the door in the woods, the door in the woods, which is that one big prop piece there with the door that's got the chain and the ivy and stuff like that. I went back and I watched those a couple days ago, and those are actually pretty good. It's totally not my thing, but I'm interested to see how what they how they sort of incorporate the lore, the monsters and stuff like that into the scare zone. There's a lot of potential for this, which is why it's kind of up a little bit from Seek and Destroy. Even though I'm not totally a fan of Crypt TV, I think it's an interesting prospect. There's a lot to mine in Crypt TV for them to do, and based on the prop pieces that we already have, the creatures that go with those prop pieces are pretty famous monsters in the Crypt TV monsterverse. So, like I said, I just finished watching the Door in the Woods stuff. That stuff was pretty good. And then I watched the I forgot what it's called. There's the one where the bathroom is. The Look-See, right? Is that what it's called? The Look-See. That thing is pretty cool. And then the spider, I haven't gotten to the spider one, and I don't know what the other one is. The thing with the body sitting in the little kitchen area. I don't know what that one is. But anyways, moving on. Crypt TV coming in number 4. Coming in number 3 is Lights, Camera, Action, Eddie's Revenge. I was gonna come back to haunt me later when I talk about the houses, but I don't really care about the icons. Eddie being in this scare zone some way, shape, or form doesn't really entice me either way. I do like the idea of bringing back Lights, Camera, Action. They've done the scare zone before. It fits well in Hollywood, of course. And if you look at the way that the little stages are set up, it kind of looks like that's what they're going for. You'll have like the backdrops are kind of where they're filming the movies for whatever is there. And then, Eddie comes in and wreaks havoc, or whoever comes in and wreaks havoc. I think nostalgia plays a big part in this scare zone for me as well, because I liked the Lights, Camera, Action scare zone. Was it from 2009? Is that what it's from, 2009? I kind of, I like that, so interested to see it come back. I like the space in Hollywood. I think there's a lot of room to do stuff in there, so always a good time there in Hollywood. So Lights, Camera, Action comes in at number 3. 30 Years, 30 Fears up there in Production Central. It's the anniversary zone. Kind of want to see what they do in there. It looks pretty cramped in there. It looks pretty tight quarters, but who knows? Who knows what they plan on doing? Of course, there's a lot of nostalgia in there with the obviously with the icons, of course, and some other characters. But with the Halloween Horror Nights a sign up there, really interested to see what they do here. And then coming in at number 1 is Gorewood Forest. I've said it in the past. Halloween Horror Nights 2005 is my favorite year for Halloween Horror Nights, even though it might not have the best houses. I love the storytelling that took place in 2005. I really don't think anything since has recaptured that for me. 2008 comes close, of course, but I think 2005 is sort of the best example of what the powers that be out there in art and design can put together in terms of this whole world. Terra Crentis is one of my favorite things that Horror Nights has ever done. So I'm excited to see how they do that in a smaller scale. Obviously, it's Gorewood Forest, which is one of the lands over there in Terra Crentis. Not necessarily the entire world, but there's going to be probably nods to other things in there. Of course, not just things that reside in Terra Crentis. You have the children from the schoolhouse, I believe, are over there in Gorewood Forest, as well as the body collectors. I believe they also hail from the Gorewood Forest. So that whole dynamic, I think, gets me more excited. The big set piece that's already kind of in there is sort of what I was told a long time ago, what some stuff might be in there. So I'm very excited to see what they do and what they put into Gorewood Forest. I am very, very excited. And that space, I like the Central Park scare zone, scare zones normally. I think the lighting in there, the sort of darkness in there, really lend itself to a good scare zone. The problem is that in recent times, it just becomes too crowded. Sometimes you can't move or walk in there. So I think that's the only downside to the Gorewood Forest. So the, of course, totally non-controversial, nothing on the internet is controversial hype list for me for this year's houses. Coming in at the bottom, number 10, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. I was not a huge fan of this house last year. I did get to experience it, of course, with COVID and stuff like that. Like, there was a lot of stuff that they weren't able to do in the house, but outside of the facade, I really didn't feel the vibe in here. The storyline is cool and stuff like that, but just wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling this house, so I'm not looking forward. Well, I'm looking forward to it coming back. I'm just not overly thrilled about the house at this point. Who knows? Maybe they could do more stuff this time around. But as of right now, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy comes in at the bottom of the list. Coming in at number 9 is The Haunting of Hill House. I've said it numerous times this year and in the past. I like The Haunting of Hill House. I'm not quite sure how The Haunting of Hill House is going to translate well into a house. I think there's potential there, especially when it comes to just the house itself. But like I've said before, The Haunting of Hill House is a show that works because of the drama, not necessarily because of the spookiness that goes on. The spookiness is more of an aside. It sort of complements the drama that's going on. And I like The Haunting of Hill House, not necessarily because of the spookiness, but because of the dynamics between the characters. Kind of similar way to The Walking Dead as well. The Walking Dead is a show about the characters mostly, and the zombies are just kind of there. There's kind of another obstacle they have to deal with. I'm looking forward to The Haunting of Hill House, but I'm just not like, meh. And like I said in a previous video, The Haunting of Bly Manor, wasn't a huge fan of The Haunting of Bly Manor. I was a bigger fan of The Haunting of Hill House. So that kind of soured my taste a little bit for the property. I'm excited to see what they do. The facade for Haunting of Hill House obviously looks incredible, and the aesthetics are going to be kick-ass. So that's goes up a notch. Not my least anticipated, but still kind of at the bottom for me. Number 8 is going to be Beetlejuice. Kind of a similar vibe to what I said last year. I liked what they did in the house, but also similarly to the Tooth Fairy, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. You could tell that there was stuff in there that they couldn't do because of COVID or because of staffing issues and stuff like that. Given the current state of affairs here in Florida, yes, obviously Halloween Horror Nights is happening, but who knows, they might have to implement some more COVID mitigation factors when it comes to the house. So I don't know what to expect with some of that stuff going in to certain things this year. And Beetlejuice really is not a property that I would go rah-rah, bring it to Halloween Horror Nights type thing. I think aesthetically, Beetlejuice is a good get to have for Halloween Horror Nights, but I'm not like overly excited. Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way, so I'm not hating on Beetlejuice at all. I love Beetlejuice. It is in my top 20 movies of all time, so it is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm just having experienced the house last year, I liked the house, but you could tell there was stuff that they couldn't do, so I'm reserving judgment until I see what goes on this year. So coming in at number 8 is Beetlejuice. Coming in at number 7, Puppet Theater Captive Audience. Don't care about puppets all that much. This one kind of gets a pass in terms of the other things, just because of what I'm told of the aesthetic in this house. So this one kind of goes a little bit higher, even though if I didn't know anything about what could or could not be in here, I think Puppet Theater Captive Audience would be at the bottom of the list. But because of some of the things that I've been told about what's going to occur in this house, and some of the things that we saw in that preview video from last year, kind of elevate my intrigue on this a little bit more. Otherwise, puppets. We've done the puppet doll thing before. We've had Chucky before. We had an entire Dollhouse of the Damned before. So kind of. I just don't care about that whole vibe. I do like the story in terms of like the sort of the theater that was destroyed in the earthquake. That kind of thing makes me a little bit more excited. But this is kind of where it is, simply for the fact that I know some of the things that are going to happen in here. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in action. So Puppet Theater Captive Audience, number 7. Coming at number 6 is Welcome to Scary, Horror in the Heartland. One of these houses that I've been hearing about for a long time. There are things in here that I want to see. There are things in here that I want to re-experience. Things from the town of Cary, old sort of throwbacks to past things that Horror Nights has done that I'm looking forward to. There's one in particular that I am not looking forward to, which is Hive. Hive is on my list of some of the worst that Horror Nights has ever done. And I know that Hive has sort of gotten like this following since its debut. I'm not one of those people. I still think Hive was a terrible house. But it is what it is. It's just going to be one room in the house. It doesn't kind of kill my anticipation factor for it at all. So yeah, it's an anniversary house. Of course, it's 30th anniversary. So, and it's Cary, Ohio. I love Cary, Ohio. My little fan trailer, my little fan fiction that I've had over, that I do for myself. A lot of that stuff takes place in Cary. That the fan trailer that I did for the at home stuff, the Halloween Horror Nights at home stuff, HHN at home. That takes place. The movie is called Cary. I like the town of Cary, so that makes it. I'm excited for it. Coming in at number 5 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of my favorite movies of all time. Favorite horror movies of all time. Also, we should put that in there as well. Not just one of my favorite movies of all time, but one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I'm looking forward to seeing a sort of a little bit souped up version of the original film, because of course we had it in 2016, but this is obviously in a soundstage, and I'm curious to see how they have plussed it a little bit, because it is in a soundstage. And I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I'm excited to see it. So pretty self-explanatory. So coming in at number 4 is The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. My favorite house that they opened last year. I've said it multiple times, in multiple different ways. I love the Universal Classic Monsters. I love when Halloween Horror Nights uses them. I do not think they use them enough. I am very happy that we essentially have gotten 3 years in a row with the Universal Classic Monsters. And I liked the house last year. I heard some rumblings that they may have changed a couple things, so I'm curious to see what that is, if those changes are actually noticeable or not. But it doesn't matter to me. I loved the house a lot last year, so I'm just excited to walk through the house again. So, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. And that video, of course, that announcement video is still, what do the kids say these days? Fire. That video is fire. So The Bride of Frankenstein Lives coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is Case Files: Unearthed Legendary Truth. Now, obviously, this was not supposed to be Case Files Unearthed or Legendary Truth at all. If you paid any mind to any of the numerous spec maps that were out there over the course of the summer, every time I saw Halloween 3 or Creepshow on those spec maps, I had to laugh because I knew that it was not either of those, and I alluded to it earlier in the video. I sort of given up on giving people clues or hints about things. This year I sort of nudged it a little bit more into the ether, and when it came to this, I tried to be either subtle or not so subtle with some clues. The more not so subtle clues, where there's the blatant lingering on the shots of Boris Schuster's office there and on Delancey Street, and then of course the pictures and so on and so forth. Obviously it's Legendary Truth, but what I'm more interested in is this sort of aside with Boris, that type of stuff. I want to see sort of the cases. I want to see the cases that Boris worked on after his encounter with Mary Agana there, because obviously Universal can't use Bloody Mary, but they can use Mary Agana. Mary Agana is part of the lore. In fact, this might be a good time to tease episode 2 of Into the Fog. It is Boris Schuster, episode 2, Into the Fog, Boris Schuster, to give you sort of a little bit of a history on the character and how he sort of fits in with the Mary Agana stuff. so you could do some homework going into the house. It's not necessarily about Legendary Truth. It's more about Boris Schuster himself, because he is the founder of Legendary Truth. So this stuff, sort of takes place, or I'm assuming, after his encounter with Marigana, when he forms the Legendary Truth organization. So his earlier case files. So I'm excited to see this. Obviously, like I said, this is supposed to be Billie Eilish. I think everybody knows that by now. But for whatever reason, after the pandemic canceled everything, she decided to pull out. Depending on who you talk to is the answer. So it is what it is. But so coming in number 3, Case Files on Earth, Legendary Truth. Coming in number 2, Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin. This is another one of those that I've just heard a lot about the aesthetics. I might have even seen some video of some of what this house looks like inside. So I'm super excited. Obviously we've seen what the entryway looks like from sort of the overhead shots from the helicopters. I am excited. I am excited to finally experience this damn thing because this is one of the earliest houses. Now, by the time we actually walk through the gates of Halloween Horror Nights 30, this is going almost 2.5 years ago now. So it's crazy to kind of think that I've been hearing about this stuff for that long. But it is what it is. So I'm finally excited to walk through this house. Enough said. So coming in number 2, Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin. Number 1, obviously the only one left, HHN Icons Captured. I've said numerous times that icons I don't care if we have icons. I don't really care much for the icons at all. But again, what I've heard about what's inside here has me very excited. And there is something to be said, even though I don't like, don't like the icons, even though I'm not, the icons don't make me or break me either way. There is something to be said about all the icons coming together in one house. And sort of doing this thing, this gimmick, whatever it is, of each icon having their own moment to shine and stuff like that. There is something to be said that sort of sparks the fanboy in me. And, because there are icons that I like. I do like icon. The director is my favorite icon, and I want to see him in this house. And how exactly fear ties into this, because, icons captured might evoke some images of the icons being trapped in the lantern per se. Some of those icons might have gotten out. So it is what it is. And we'll get into that whole thing. Maybe one day I'll do an Into the Fog about all that stuff. But so really super excited to physically see what they have in here. And it is an anniversary year, so it is nice to see all the icons in one house like this. I'm excited to see what they do. So that is my totally non-controversial hype list. Here it is one more time. Flash them on the screen for you. Here is the Scare Zone hype list, and here is the house hype list. So I have rushed through that whole thing, but I just wanted to get that out. This is going to be a very long video. I apologize. It is what it is. Who knows if I'll even get it up today. I might have to wait until tomorrow. We will see. You will know when you watch this video. But I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. So as usual, with everything being announced, of course, some of the more like this kind of Topher's log obviously will be more strictly towards the construction updates from now forward, unless something comes up. It is what it is. But yeah, so we are close to the opening night of the event. Employee preview is August 31st, so we are rapidly approaching that time. I can see on my work schedule my vacation is there. Opening night, my vacation starts opening night, so we are close, and I'm excited. I know there's still a lot of trepidation out there. I wish there was something that I could say to anybody, but I can't, because no matter what you say, on one flip of the coin, the other flip of the coin, the internet, people will come after you. So I'm not going to say a whole lot. All I can say is opening night is close, and I'm excited. And hopefully you all are excited too. you know, it is what it is. So with that, I'm going to depart. As usual, everybody, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time.